So welcome. This is Sienna Lea of Rise Multiversity, and I am here with Laura Lee of Mystic House. And the theme of these podcasts are, and the truth will make you laugh. Because I know a lot of, and so Laura Lee, thanks for being here today. You got all snowed in up there in Washington. I'm in Ecuador, and it's freezing and raining, and they're shut down the roads, and the IMF bank wants their loan money, and the Ecuador is going through a huge crisis. So I'm here. And I left you a few weeks ago, like a month ago. It was like summer. Now what's going on over there?
Oh, I know. Yeah, we're supposed to have really cold nights the next few nights, but yeah. Other than that, life is good.
Anyway, we are absolutely intending to laugh every chance we get, because laughter is one of the greatest medicines we have. And if things, I don't know how much more screwed up anything could be, but it's either slit our wrist time or start laughing a lot.
That's right.
Laura Lee and I have taken what?
I opt for option number 2.
Right on. And Laura Lee, you're so great at that. I mean, I've seen you go wrestle down some pretty nasty black magicians with laughing the whole way.
Laughing all the way.
Laughing all the way. So we're going to laugh on this podcast series. Laura Lee and I are joining forces. We're going to be doing some joint sessions and group work and retreat work. And it's going to be about getting real with magic and with shadow and with interference and what's really going on, and stopping thinking that we don't have the power to turn this around. We got to get real, people. We got to get real and see what power we gave away to who and to what, and how we get it back like yesterday. And so our podcast may piss you off. You may feel a strong urge to turn us off, to get the heck out of here as quick as you know how. And I just really urge you not to listen to that, because this is going to be probably a kind of a ghost-busting, curse-busting session. Hopefully when we're done here, your brains are going to be like glued on backwards, because they're already backwards, and that's the problem. So we're going to get them glued on frontwards. We're going to talk about magic. We're going to talk about witches. And I'm here with a witch, okay? So we're getting it from the witch's, you don't say the horse's mouth. What do you say with a witch? The witch's broomstick. We're getting it from the witch's broomstick. Laura Lee Mistycah, how did you end up becoming a witch? First of all, I want to say why I even want to bother with this topic at all. Because I am pretty well convinced now that this entire matrix, the control grid, the way everything operates, from politics to big pharma to the military, the wars, the money, the everything, the psychology, the way we do everything, it's all black magic. It's all run by Satanists. And to say that we don't want any part of magic because you guys are so bad is like, we might as well just bend over and let them have their way with us for another century.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that, Laura?
First of all, I've got to show everybody, this is a t-shirt my daughter gave to me, which is famous. Now, this part is absolutely true. This part, that one's a joke. So I just wanted you to see that, because you can see the top part, you got to see the rest. So, this magic thing, if we don't start getting real serious and real about learning magic ourselves, we are screwed, like bad. So what you said is absolutely true. Everybody else is doing it. If we don't get our piece of the action and we don't start getting adept at it, you're, like you said, we might as well curl up and die because we're going to get run over. We're going to buy a steamroller and never get up.
We are being, right? So
Absolutely.
for the first little exorcism we can have here today, community, is let's get over our freak out about magic. So, and you know how to screen share, right, Laura? You want to put up your thing about, shall we get down to the basics now? And I mean, Laura Lee, I've been doing shadow work for 40 years. You've been doing ghost busting and magic and a lot of other stuff, and that's up to you. You won't even tell people what you're doing or not doing at what level you're doing it, but you're doing it probably better and more than most anybody I've seen so far who says they're doing it in terms of using alchemy, alchemy to bring in everything that's been stolen, robbed, raped, oppressed, tortured, and tormented out of the human psyche. And it blew my mind. You know, I was with Laura Lee for 4 months. It blew my mind see how the kind of warrior she is. And it makes me want her indigo warrior training information. You know, we're in the soup. She has her own work and her own thing in her own books, and she's coming out with a new one soon. And I've been doing my shadow, but there's so many. They're interlocking agendas. It all needs to be purged, like a demon from our psyches, because I've found out now more than ever that most of our shadows are infected with what Laura Lee calls cryptos and these gangsters and shove-ins and assholes and shove-ons, and that a lot of what we think is the enemy out there is the enemy in here. They've taken over our subpersonalities. They've taken over our egos. They've taken over our chakras, our kundalini, our astral bodies. We're like coated in this crap and thinking it's us and feeling bad about it and thinking we need to do something and that we created all of this. So let's break this down, Laura Lee. What is magic?
This is a good place to begin because, a lot of people don't really know what it is. And,
no. And why are you spelling it that weird way?
Because that is the old way, and it's like the original way. And before it was corrupted, that's the way it was spelled. So, and the bottom line, it is the ability to create and make outcomes you desire. And that, that's what everybody wants. That's what all of the change your mind, change your life kind of motivation things.
Yeah, huge business. Everyone's running around trying to find that soulmate, trying to lose those 20 pounds and trying to get rich. And how's that working for y'all? Because I've been in too for 40 years, and most of you are as broke as the day you brought me to that goddess workshop to sign up under you and use those wonderful principles of the secret to get rich and famous.
Exactly. Now, the thing is, that can work, and it can work good if it's not being interfered with. And that's the problem, is that nice people get their change your mind, change your life work. They come in and mess it up. But if you're an asshole, then yeah, go ahead, let them be rich. Let them be rich and famous like my shirt.
All right, so let me make sure that I'm getting what you're saying there. First of all, you use the phrase that you've coined with Hale, who you're working with in a spiritual realm, asshole. So who are these assholes, and why does magic work for them and not for me?
Oh.
That's what I want to know right now.
You have to be an asshole for it to work well.
Oh, well, that's the dubious honor award, the booby prize.
I know.
Gosh, you mean I'm not an asshole? Well, no, you couldn't be this.
What we need to do first is what's on here. We need to look at the original version or rules, and which was using the benevolent powers within you to create or cause a desired effect through the collaboration of natural laws. This includes the law of code, which is the writing and rewriting of the code for this hologram, also known as our holographic universe. This can be amplified by collaborating with other magicians. So that's the original. Now, if you scroll down a little bit, and you scroll down on that, there we go. Oh, a little too far. Okay, there we go. So that's how it should have been, and that's how it used to be. But then everything got corrupted when the D monster came in and took over the hologram. And
you may need to explain
the D monster. Okay, well, haven't we talked about her on other ones? I just assume everybody's.
Yeah, well, I know you're working with people who are way down this rabbit hole, and those may not be the people listening today.
Okay.
Up to you.
Okay.
You can in other places.
I call her the D monster because I don't like to say her name, so I'll say her name once. Her name was Durerla, and she is responsible for this hologram getting corrupted beyond measure, beyond imagination.
So I know already we may have, blown everyone out of the water. Everyone has their favorite demon, and they don't want you to that the demon they thought was creating all this hell was somebody else. They're all in it together, the reptiles.
Oh yeah.
They're all in it together. And yes, there was a dark femme at the top of the patriarchal control grid. Mm-hmm. But a lot of these scenarios, for those of you who are truthers and researchers, are very parallel to Laura Lee's information in terms of this reality becoming a prison planet and being in lockdown, and us being used as food sources for non-source beings that needed our energy to parasite off of. And the entire situation has been repurposed, reformatted, and restructured so for food for these starving beings that in their world we are simply food. So the whole notion that we have that, I mean, this was obviously not why this realm was created originally, but it got taken over and co-opted. And the work that I've been doing is the work of returning to our original design and purging and removing these distortions, impositions, and curses and black magic spells and very distorted and corrupted layers and layers that are all layered into our own psyches. And that, we have hearts, we want a good world, we want a good life, and yet we're completely polluted by this black magic. And then we're mind controlled to think all magic is bad. So we'll stay there forever and never figure out how this happened to us and never cultivate the magical tools and skills we need to get out of this. So I just want to be really clear about how important it is. And this work that Laura Lee and I are collaborating on is a hands-on work for you. It's not just talking about Dracos and reptiles and how evil everything is, because I think we've all been staring at it now for quite a long time. But what do we do to unearth this within ourselves, to clean it up in here, and to actually have the power to do something other than to keep perpetuating this current state of affairs? So I just wanted to rant on about that. What?
Absolutely. Good background. I'm every.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay. I'm glad. All right. I did not want to be blabbing so much. I want to go back to this corrupted magic thing.
Okay. So, the corrupted rules are what we have been dealing with. And the joke on us is that we didn't know about it. Okay. So number one is what you put out comes back times 3, but that can be reversed and manipulated if you know how. So that totally screws over how karma should have been. Okay. This negates karma. It's like, okay, yeah, people get karma unless you know how to go under the table on that one, and then you don't get it. Okay, number 2, the more corrupted you are, the better magic works. And the more corrupted the wish, the quicker it manifests.
Yeah, brother.
Okay. So isn't that kind of what's going on with how this planet is being manipulated? The more corrupted, the better it works. Yeah. Now I've got here, hence why we use a skank altar to outwit corruption. And that is outlined in cryogenetics book 1 on how to set one of those up. So and it's
cryogenetics. Now, is that written in here anywhere? Because I know I spelled it wrong for a while. KRY
AH
mm-hmm.
GEN
Mm-hmm.
ET
Mm-hmm.
ICS. Cryogenetics.
Okay, yeah. And Laura Lee Mistycah. By Laura Lee Mistycah. Yes. So this is outlining some truths that seem so basic that it's a no-brainer, but this is so eluded humanity, and it is so at the crossroad, at the very point of urgency to understand this.
And scroll down a little bit more. Right. I think some of you will feel, well, no wonders. I have been trying so hard for years, and nothing's happening. And why does it work for so-and-so and it's not working for me? There must be something wrong with me. Well, it's not what's wrong with you. It's what's right with you. Okay. I'm telling you now, if you've been working on this, I used to sell Success Motivation Institute back in the 70s. Okay. I've been working on this for decades and just getting smacked and smacked and smacked and homeless and smacked and homeless and smacked. And the list goes on and on. It's been like hideous. And I thought, why don't these rules work for me? They work for everybody else. Okay, well, here's why. This is why. Okay, now corrupted magic works better for selfish personal gain, especially if you hurt others because of it. Okay? So nice people that, they wouldn't want to have anything to do with that. Okay? So that kicks you out of the ballpark too. Corrupted magic and spells come with a high price, but only for benevolent people. And sometimes they get the opposite of what they ask for. It's a crapshoot. I know for a fact that happened to me. I would always get the opposite of what I asked for. I've got lists and lists of things that I got the opposite for. And one time when I was homeless and I was like down on the dirt, and I'm like, what is the matter? Maybe everything is so backwards that I have to ask for what I don't want and then I'll get it. So that made sense to me. Well, so I did that, and guess what? I got what I asked for, something crappy. So I thought, okay, damned if I do, damned if I don't. Where do I go from here? Well, sheer will got me through all that crap. And Hal helped me too, because I couldn't have gotten through it without him. And I just want you to know that whatever you're going through, you can get through it and you can come out on top. If I did it, you can. Okay? I just want you to know that. Okay.
Because you're no longer homeless, right?
I'm no longer homeless. I live in an enchanted forest with my chickens and ducks and my little rescue farm. I live the dream. I still don't have the rich part down, but I have what I need to do my work. And I somehow actually, what I've got now was created through the skank altar. And
Can you tell us about, are you going to tell us how to do a skank altar? That would be a good magical. Let's do a skank altar podcast.
Okay, we'll do
back
that.
And we'll put it in the membership section.
We will do that. Skank altar 101. We will do that.
Okay. All right.
You just need to know that when you do the skank altar, you only get one time. I didn't know this till just recently. You only get one skank altar one time, and then it doesn't work anymore. But if that gets you to a new level and gets you back on your feet again, that's good. Then you can try other forms of magic and not really using the skank altar. But yeah, we will have a podcast on that. That'll be great. Okay, so number 5, nice people innocently use magic through their words and emotions. And 90% of the time, it has a bad outcome. Corrupted magic picks and chooses what it manifests, and the wealthy get the first pick. For the rest of the people, even nice words and emotions can get twisted and turned into bad and misunderstood. So what this is saying is that when you get angry or something and blurt something out, that's magic. You just performed a magical spell, whether you know it or not. Now, the thing is, if you said something like, "Oh, I hate my hair. I wish it would all fall out," that could happen because of this dark magic crap. And so it's not that your words always create your reality, because they don't. They only create your reality with these rules of magic. Okay? They can, but they don't always do it because we're under this spell of this corrupted magic. Okay, is that making sense? Yeah,
but it just makes me want to ask the question, all right, so how do we break this? But
okay.
Go ahead.
So we're getting there. Okay, so right. Using corrupted magic, which is energy and magnetics, you can force your will or desired outcome on other people, animals, plants, insects, and things, or events, and even gain power or possession by A, stealing energy and life force from others. This includes blood rituals. B, enslaving and torturing others to use and consume their intense, extreme loosh and pheromones, which creates powerful conductivity and amplification of your own will and desired outcomes. And C, rewriting code into the hologram for personal gain and power, or forcing the code writers to do it for you. This is how they have been using and abusing and duping us. This is it. This is the bottom line. And if you don't get it, you're never going to understand it. If you don't get these rules, nothing makes sense. Once you get it, once you see these rules, you go, well, of course, that's been happening to me. I get it. Yeah. Okay, so on to the next thing. How do we change this? When you're doing authentic magic, I would strongly suggest that you use the cryogenetics egg as a safe haven for doing any kind of magic. I would never think of doing anything where I wasn't under the protection of this etheric cryogenetics egg, helping me and having my back. And, you know, if I said something a little wrong, or it would remind me, okay, you can't do it that way. The cryogenetics egg is our reply to their corrupted magic. The egg will help you get through this.
And the egg will only work for truth and justice, right?
That's right. That's right. If you're an asshole, the egg isn't going to work for you. In fact, it will probably bring truth and justice on you, which, oh, well, good for that.
Okay. And we're going to have more podcasts about the eggs. That's a whole other topic, how they came in with these rocks. and how they're being used. And I know that already people get triggered, because there's a lot of overlays in the curses that have been put on your mind to make you run as far as you can from this thing. Because why? Because it has the potency to break these curses. And so just like all the magic that's real, it's got a bad reputation. But I'm here to tell you that these things are powerful allies. And if you don't think you need any friends going through what we're going through on this planet right now, well, good luck to you for that.
Yeah, I know. These are my best friends. These are my besties. Okay, so then you have to cancel or take to zero and override all the corrupted, imposed rules that have been projected on you and you've been subjected to. So you have to start sifting out all of the crap that you have on you, that Magick has done to you, and override that, bring it to zero. That's your first step. And we'll talk more about how to do that. There's many ways. Some ways are way more efficient than others, and so we'll talk about that. Operating from purity, love, integrity, and honor when creating with Magick. Energy can be calm and serene, or extremely confident, forceful, and passionate. So you can do Magick by going into Zen, or you can do Magick by putting a powerful energy force out there. Both have their positions, and both can be used in different circumstances. So these are two of the ways that you can use your energy to start causing change.
Can anybody do this? I mean, obviously there are more powerful and less powerful witches and warlocks out there. I mean, is it going to be that when people start cleaning themselves up and are no longer just like programs running on programs, but they're actually embodying some real authentic life force? The real juju, the thing that the women have been demonized forever, is the real juice, the power. But then we've given that power away for so long. Can we get it back?
Yes. And in the beginning, it's like you got to oil the gears. It may take, 2 or 3 of these to start getting the machine going. But the more you do it, the better you get, the more you do it. And it's just kind of a process. I didn't get where I'm at overnight. I tell you what, I've had a lot of practice. But some people, and probably many of the ones that are watching this, have natural innate abilities. And they go, oh, yeah, I get this. Bam, they got it. And it's working for them. So this could absolutely happen to you. Now, number 3 is manifesting with Magick, as long as you do not operate out of ego, align with greater good, truth, and justice, operate from win-win, not win-lose attitude. If you are in that mindset and in that energetic, the egg and the rocks will absolutely have your back. Absolutely. But if you start getting into ego and blah, 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 you're on the other team, and yeah, good luck with that. And number 4, remember, and this is very important, Magick corrupted this hologram, and Magick can eliminate that corruption. And I'm telling you now, nothing but Magick will eliminate this corruption. Okay? It just won't. That's just how it works. So we best be getting our Magick fingers going and our Magick antennas up, because if we don't, and we don't understand it, we're not going to have a chance to eliminate this corruption here.
So you don't, so going out on the streets and screaming and writing and hating Trump or loving Trump or being gay or being a transgender or being green or believing in global warming, or that's not going to change it?
I think it's important to blow the whistle on corruption when you see it, to stand up for truth and justice. Yes, that can help, but I see what you're saying. It's like we've got all of these conflicting agendas going on, and they are so conflicting, and they are such agendas. What we need to do is get back to the truth, back to the point of authentic truth, because until we do that, we're just playing the game. We're just playing into their hands. You know, the idea truth shall make you free, yes, but it can also get you kicked to the curb, yes. But that's what we came here for. I've been kicked to the curb. You've been kicked to the curb. We just get back up and we keep going on. So yes, it's important to be advocates for the underdog, whether it's farmed animals or children that are being abused by priests and whatnot. It's like, yes, we need to stand up for that stuff. But then we have to go to the bottom line, which is Magick. Magick is what got all this corruption going on in the first place. Magick is what is corrupting the corporate machine. And we gotta get in there and get our hands on that and turn this thing around, or it will just continue and get worse and worse and worse.
As it is. So, and then from my 40 years working with people's shadows, I can say that this corrupted programming, most people think it's just themselves. It's how they think and how they feel and the way things are. It's become so much a part of our psychological structure that we think it's the truth. And that's what somehow I've been led. I mean, I'm not the only person by any means to look at this shadow stuff, because I just knew, like you always say, Lord, something just ain't right. Just something is so not right with the way everything is. You know, you see these decent people, they're Christians, and then you see these people and they don't, you know, global warming, and you see people that are so angry and they're so hurt and they so want to do good. They so want to be good people, and they're nuts. They're robotic programs that are mind controlled through curses and magic to be fulfilling the agenda of the black magicians, and they will fight, they will kill you, they will beat you up, they'll do, and it's amazing if you don't take Jesus into your heart just right now, if you don't believe in Islam, if you don't, whatever. We've been trauma-based, mind-controlled in this state of horrific torture and pain. We've been forced to believe lies and black magic and perpetuate their lies in a world. And that makes us feel good for a few minutes till we have to go back out there and beat the drum again. And we're just trying desperately to feel good because we feel so horrible in this horrible, sick, toxic soup that we've become. So yeah, I agree that there's got to be some way to break these curses and to start seeing from the internal eye that gets uncalcified and uncorrupted and unimplanted and long enough that we can actually see the difference between a beautiful, pure, uncorrupted heart that wants to do good and is coming from that place, and someone who thinks they're that and they are just the opposite, which is almost everybody. So how do you break that curse? How do we get to the place where we realize, oh my gosh, it's me. It's not just out there. It's not Donald Trump. I'm that. He's mirroring something in me I so hate that I want to kill him. And because I don't see anything changing other than getting more and more absorbed into the black magic curse hive mind AI takeover, because it hurts less. It hurts less to follow the party line, because then you don't have to feel the real soul pain of selling out to Satan, which is what you're doing every minute that you're going along with a system that is based on cruelty. So I feel that you really have you have such a simple way of speaking, and you always make it seem like what you say, oh, isn't that all that important or whatever, just because you're not very egoic. But I keep on wanting to bring you back and back and back, and bring these specific tools with our courses and our private sessions with Rise Multiversity, where we're launching a whole new set of this around the integrating magic and shadow and all of these different perspectives, the eggs, and working in community and working in groups and really waking the fuck up and getting out of this. So, yeah. I don't know where
it's a process, and it's everybody's journey is a little different. I think in our future videos, we'll have more hands-on listing of things. I mean, there's a huge list, and a lot of this information will be in my next book, Cryogenetics 2. And yeah, you start out by getting rid of your chakras. That's number one. Getting rid of the Kundalini snake. That's another one. Getting rid of your astral body. That's a big one. That will improve your life like nothing else. Okay, you're going to say something?
Well, just why do you have to get rid of all those things? I mean,
okay. Yes, why? Okay, for one thing, didn't we talk about this on one of our other podcasts? I thought.
We are going to repeat material, but when we have been trauma-based mind controlled for decade upon decade as our ancestors, we may need to hear these things a few times for them to think in.
Okay, this is good. So your chakra system is an imposed system that was never meant to be there. We have actually a 3-point system, that the head, the heart, and the loins. And the authentic system runs energy from your heart to your head, back to your heart, down to your loins, up to the heart, and it's like in a figure 8 motion.
You're saying that there's an authentic way that our healthy, loving, lightful energy runs, and this is not what's happening, that they've been co-opted by some sort of implants that are harvesting software. Is that right?
And exactly, because this figure 8 racetrack that goes on, nothing from your head, everything that you think goes to your heart. And everything that you create with your loins comes to your heart. And it's all filtered through the heart. So it doesn't get wigged out and corrupted, because everything always goes back to the heart for filtering and amplification. The heart is the one that's in charge. So the thoughts in your head, if it's creative thoughts, before they can actually create, to go down to your loins and create, has to go through the heart, and the energy from the loins has to go through the heart before it gets to your head. So it's a perfect system. So if we've got these chakras that are an imposed system that compartmentalize everything, then energy does not flow this way where it's all going through the heart, and external forces can come in and grab onto your head or go down to your loins and suck out your creative energy, and it's all in perfect alignment for what they want. They can go to, if they want intense feelings, they go to your gut. It's good for them. It works for them, and it works well. And to always have to be cleaning out your chakras, cleaning out your chakras just makes it easier for them. Okay, it's you think you're doing a good thing by cleaning up your chakras. It just they like it either way. They like it crappy or they like it clean. It just makes it easier for them. So that's kind of a catch-22. So if you get rid of that system, it's interesting that the chakras go up your front and down your back and then out there. It's funny how some people brag about, well, I have 72 chakras. They're out here. Well, good for you. That just means that you've got more people and more entities sucking on your energy. Yeah, well, I'd be all proud about that one. So taking out these chakras is vital, and getting back to your system, back to this core star. And your core star is big. It's like this. So it incorporates your heart and your gut. So you've got both of those working together because it's right there with your heart and your gut. So all this energy has to go through your heart and your gut, and it's like a perfect system. Who would want to mess with that? Well, I know who would want to mess with it. These dark lords that put our chakra systems on there. And it's interesting in cryogenetics, it talks about this, and it's like these chakras are real, and that's what people see. People that are psychic, they do see these chakras systems and these turning, spinning things. That's what's there. But that doesn't mean it should be there. Just because something's there doesn't mean that it's always been there and that it's the way it should be. We need to question things, question everything. I had been, with the chakras, I was kind of, no, whatever, I'd clean them once in a while, but they just didn't do that much for me. And then there's an article on my website called The Secrets Behind the Chakras. And that blew, I tell you what, when I came out with that, I was not the most popular person on the block, because that just totally went against everyone in the New Age and the New Thought community. And they thought I
came out before George and even Carla Fox.
Oh, this came out in 2006. So it's been out for like almost, 14, 15 years. It's been out for a long time. So I would kind of push the envelope there. And then some other people, like George and other people, it's like once you bust through a dam, then you make cracks so other people can get through. And I feel like what I was doing is busting through there. Another thing that I busted through was the awareness of AI controlling us. And that was back in 2006 too, when nobody hardly even knew what AI was. And the story is in the cryogenetics part 1, but it was funny because I was at dinner with an indigo, and he said, I get the feeling that you have something trying to shove into you. And we were eating, and I'm like, okay, so what's your point? Something is always trying to shove into me. This is just this is just how things work for me. And so I kept eating, and he says, well, don't you want to know? And I'm like, for heaven's sake. So I put my fork down and I go into psychic mode, and I says, yeah, there's something trying to shove into me. And I start eating again. And he's like, well, don't you want to know who it is? And I'm like, oh, for Pete's sake, I'm hungry. Okay, whatever. So I put my fork down and I started tuning into it and understanding it. And then I started to laugh and I said, well, it's some kind of AI, but it's not being very successful in getting in. And he said, well, don't you want to know more? And I'm like, you know what? Let's just eat and we'll figure this out later. So then after doing more and more research about AI getting into you and controlling you, it all started making sense. And I started talking about this on radio shows. And the first radio show I went on talking about this, and I thought this guy would be like totally open to this. He was so not. When we got off the phone, or when he got me off the phone, he said on the air, oh my goodness, it's just crazy it's creepy to think that there's people like her out there on the streets.
Oh,
so yeah, I got
the AI and that guy that gets tricked. The little controller in his navigation panel was like, right. Wait a minute, get rid of her. Get her off your radio show now.
So yeah, that was pretty funny. So yeah, being the one that the weight breaker, which is what indigos are and what they do is, you've got somebody first has to get in there and knock it open so other people can come in and keep bringing the momentum up. So yeah, so the AI, that was my first encounter with AI. And then, oh my gosh, I was getting hit right and left. So yeah, so the AI, that was my first encounter with AI. And then, oh my gosh, I was getting hit right and left.
Wait a minute, let's talk about, all right, can we, wait one second.